Hello, everybody. Welcome to PBA 400, where public administration and management and organizations comes alive. Also, where puppies come alive. I enjoyed reading all of y'all's posts this week about yourselves, and I mentioned Dixie and Emmy in my posts, and I wanted to introduce y'all to Dixie and Emmy. Emmy has her ball there, and Dixie. And they're very happy to meet all you guys. Say hi, girls. Say hi. That's right. That's right. Say hi, girls. Okay. All right. We'll see y'all later. Okay. All right. Very good girls, and they're very, very happy to meet you guys. Um, anyway, we are launching into another very exciting week of public administration, organizations, and management. Not just public administration organizations and management, but organizations and management in general. A lot of you may not have your textbooks yet. If you do, I would encourage you to read the first couple of chapters for this week. Also, we are going to launch into learning the first four or the four major frames of organizations that we're going to study this semester. The factory, family, jungle, and temple frames. Very, very interesting and applicable ways to look at organizations. First of all, just a brief overview of each. The factory framework generally looks at the functional structural framework for an organization. For example, whenever you see an organizational chart, that is the factory model. That is the structure of an organization that works its way from the top to down or horizontally. That is the factory model. Also, goals, measures, accountability, risk measurement, risk analysis, things like that are all very tied into that factory model. Okay. Second, family. So family is the human resources aspect, how people fit into organizations, including with their personalities, their esteem, people, how do they achieve goals best, how are they best empowered, how are people, how do they feel about their jobs, how do they, how committed are they, how relationally well are they in terms of plugging into the organization. So that those things are all part of the family aspect regarding the individual and how the individual is and does. Okay. The next one is the jungle. So, for example, the jungle in a nutshell is kind of the political framework of an organization, where if you imagine a jungle, there are a lot of animals in the jungle, and they are all after a few scarce resources, and they do things like play politics or exercise power or form coalitions or bonds with others to achieve their goals. So it's how people in an organization work together to achieve specific goals that aren't necessarily written or defined in an organizational framework. Okay, and then finally, the temple frame is more like the ritualistic aspects of an organization. For example, if you're thinking about SFA and looking at it from the temple model, okay, homecoming is a very good, and the bonfire and everything that goes on there, the ring ceremony, culture heroes, people who have been distinguished alumni, people who go on and have done great things, or who did great things, or who are currently doing great things at SFA. So the kind of the myths that evolve within an organization, um, those are all good examples of kind of a temple framework that goes on within an organization that, in a lot of ways, I'm sure all of you have been parts of organizations that celebrate birthdays, that help people to feel valued, things like that. Um, that is kind of the temple framework. So those four frameworks are what we're going to study in part in depth for the rest of the semester. Also, this week, looking at chapter 2 a little bit, we're going to get into some of the realities of organizations. Realities are very complex, ambiguous, complicated creatures. And depending upon the size, they can be ultra complex and complicated and ambiguous, and even small ones can seem that way too. So just a very interesting, realistic look at organizations. So anyway, in a nutshell, I know everyone doesn't have their books yet, or may not have their books yet. So it's another pretty light week in terms of before we jump into the more detailed, heavy content that we're going to get into this semester. Really interesting stuff, very interesting stuff, and very helpful to be able to look at organizations through different lenses in ways that are all important. All four of the frames, by the way, that we discussed and that we get into, all are relevant and all are applicable all at once. And so it's a very empowering tool for an individual to learn, at any given time, how you can see an organization by just simply, switching focus a little bit and saying, this is a factory related issue. We're going to look at the organization from a structural model, or this is I'm changing the focus here. This is a family oriented problem. So we're going to look at how we're going to frame a solution from a human resources perspective. And so a very excellent model study in organizations and management. Hope y'all all had a great week. Thanks again for all of your introductions. I enjoyed getting to know you guys a little bit. Feel free this week to reach out to me. Again, if you have any questions, I pretty much always have my cell phone available at any given time. I kind of wear it on my hip, so feel free to, not literally on my hip, but mainly will always be available by text, email, cell phone call, or feel free to set up a meeting or something like that if you want to get together and talk or anything like that. So anybody, everybody have a great week, and hope that y'all are having a great start to your semester. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.